Hey guys, it's Alyssa from AlyssaNalani.com. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, as you saw from the title, I'm going to talk about the journals that I plan to use in 2025. So last week here on the channel, I talked about my planner stack for 2025, and this week I thought it might be interesting to talk about the journals that I'll be using next year. And so if this is something that you've wanted to get into or maybe be more consistent in, like me, then hopefully I can give you some ideas for what you might use in the new year. So I have a stack here on my desk that I'll be sharing with you. I'm not going to do like an overhead flip of any of them. I'll just talk about some of the features and how I plan to use them and so forth. There are probably two that I'll do separate videos on later, either in December or maybe January once I've done a little bit of work in them. But other than that, I'm not exactly sure what I'll share because, you know, journaling is really personal in a lot of ways. And so I'll explain as much as I can without getting obnoxiously wordy about it. But I do plan to maybe share some more details and like a flip of a couple of them later on. So look forward to that in the coming months, but everything that I can link is linked in the description box down below, as always. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment and I'll be happy to answer as soon as I can. So here's the stack, and it kind of does look like a lot, but they're not all everyday journals. They're not journals that I'll be carrying around with me everywhere I go. So most of them will stay at home. Two of them at least will stay at my bedside. I'll talk more about all of it, but they're not like going with me everywhere. So it's not like I have to lug all of this with me and my planners. So in case that was a thought that crossed your mind, I'm just going to start from the top and work my way down. So first off, we have this really darling passport size traveler's notebook. This is from Moterm. It does come in several different colors. I just went ahead and got this. I can't remember if this is taupe. It is linked down below. I can't remember the name of the color, but this matches my A5. I know, really boring. When I have a little bit more room in my budget, I might get another color because they are really lovely and I like their covers. But for now, we have this very basic taupey color and I like it. So this is going to be used for my morning quiet time. I have this really deep desire to get good at waking up like at 5 o'clock in the morning and spending like the first 1.5, 2 hours of the day just reading and journaling, reading my Bible, all of that good quiet time stuff with like a cup of tea in a fuzzy robe and fuzzy socks. Like I really want my mornings to be slow and quiet, but also super productive because I'm reading and I'm writing and all that kind of thing. And so I decided to set this up just for that. There's not much to show in here, except I do have the inserts that came with the traveler's notebook are in here. I do have some pocket, like wallet inserts as well. And I've got some photos of me and Steven in there. I also have a copy of the yearly bundle in the passport size. This is from Peanuts Planner Co. I have this in my personal rings, and I have had it in my A5 rings. I don't remember if I put in my A5 rings for 2025. I may have, I don't remember. But anyway, I have it in a few different sizes. And so I just went ahead and got one for my passport. It doesn't come in traveler's notebook orientation. So I got it is like made for rings, and I just taped them together and then I wrapped them around the insert. So here it's like taped on the spine. I hope that makes sense. So printed, cut, taped, and popped them in here for my setup. And then I have, my first notebook is actually a B7 lined notebook that I got from my local Daiso. If you don't know what Daiso is, it's an Asian like dollar store. It's really nice. If you have them around, then it's really great. But it's just a B7 notebook. And I'm just planning to keep like morning pages type scribbles in there. So just morning thoughts, you know, that kind of thing. Nothing super complicated or particular. I have the back side of the Peanuts Planner Co. yearly bundle inserts in here. I'm not sure what I'm going to be tracking yet, but I have them here, and then when I figure it out, I'll track. The other side of that wallet insert is back here as well. So it's wrapped around that first notebook. The second notebook is just regular grid. And this came with the cover, I'm pretty sure. And here I'm just gonna write scripture for memorization purposes. So I plan to just spend a few minutes every day reciting, repeating scripture until I memorize it. I don't think I'm gonna set like any particular like time constraints. Maybe I should, but maybe like, I don't know, a few verses every so often. I haven't figured that out yet. I don't want to put pressure on it. I just want to develop the daily habit rather than saying, oh, I've got to memorize it by a certain date. Does that make sense? So we'll see how that works. We'll see how that works. The third notebook is blank. There's no lines, no dot grid, no regular grid. And I actually forgot exactly what I'm going to use this for. I think I had intended this just for like random like capturing. So like song lyrics or quotes from like random quotes that I might find in my reading. Not quite, because the fourth one is for book notes. I forgot what I had for this. I'm sorry, guys. Once I know, I will let you know. I'll do like an update maybe, but it's going to be for capturing something. All right, the fourth one, I know, real professional of me, but the fourth one is lined, and it came with a cover. Looks like that. And I'm going to be just keeping book notes. So if I'm reading a devotional or a spiritual growth book of some kind, or a memoir or something like that, then I can just write the book notes. And then last but not least, these are little daily planners that I got from Walmart. They came in a set of, I want to say 10 or 12. Unfortunately, they're all out of stock. So it's not something that I can link. At least as far as I know, your local Walmart may still carry them. Mine does not. I haven't seen them in a long time. I bought these a while ago, but they're just little daily pages, daily agendas. And so I'm not going to use them as it is oriented. I'll probably white these out and maybe write like specific activities or something. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I popped it back here and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But each of my little inserts, I just covered them in fall scrapbooking paper, and I just like lightly taped them. They're not like permanently affixed or anything. And then if I'm still using the book when the fall season is over, which I will be, then I will just switch it out for wintry, Christmassy paper. So nothing super complicated. It's a really basic setup. I've got a pen loop, a pen in the pen loop. I've got a ruler from the Daily Grace Co. in the back here. It fits perfectly. What else do I have in here? That's about it. Oh, I have some laminated like journaling cards. So just random stuff from my stash. I'll probably fill this up with more things as time goes on, but for right now, that's all I've got, and things are falling out. Yeah, so there's my personal, or my passport size traveler's notebook for my mornings. Isn't she so cute? Okay, next we just have a very basic lined A5 notebook that I also got from Daiso, and this is just like Dear Diary type stuff. I try to keep one as regularly as possible. I started this one on my birthday this year, so this past July, and I just put stickers on it. As you can see, I think I showed this a couple of videos ago, and I took packaging tape, and I just laminated the cover. So I think somebody asked me if I could do a video on that. It's so simple. You put your stickers or whatever, scrapbooking stuff, ephemera and whatnot, and then you take your packaging tape and then you just put a strip across, cut it, a strip across, cut it, and then another strip, until your entire cover is sealed. And you do have to be patient and careful because you don't want like stuff getting stuck underneath. Ask me how I know. and so that it comes out clean. And so, yeah, it takes a little bit of patience and a little bit of dexterity, but it's really simple. This will not be shown to anyone ever at any time until I am no longer here on this earth, because these are like private, you know, private entries. This is for my eyes only, between me and the Lord. All right, the third journal is a guided journal, and this is from Emily P. Freeman. This is the decision-making companion to her book, The Next Right Thing. So it's The Next Right Thing guided journal. If you've not read the book or listened to her podcast, I recommend them both. I love Emily's work. She has such a sweet voice, writing voice, and she also has a really sweet, calming speaking voice. I like listening to her talk on her podcast. And so I highly recommend her book. It was really good. And the journal is really good. And what's really lovely about this journal is, if you watched my planner stack video, you heard me talk about how I want to lean more into the seasons. And this book is actually a seasonal journal. So if I can get to the beginning of a season, you have 4 seasons in here. It's guided, but everything can start whenever you want it to. So here's your season start, and you can choose winter, spring, summer, or fall. And then you have some pages for the season. So some guided prompts, what you're looking forward to, reflections for the season, a prayer for the season, a quote for the month. So at the beginning of every month, you can write down a quote. You can write down whatever month it is. I'm not going to do a full flip here. It'll take too long. But you have all of these different prompts for the month. Gratitude list, a list of questions, what's draining you this month, what's giving you life this month, a practice that you can work on, what you're reading, watching, listening to, what you've learned, all different kinds of stuff. So it will take you through all 4 seasons, or it'll take you through 4 seasons in one book, and you can start it at any time. It's not dated for any particular year. It doesn't have any particular months already written in. You get to write in your months and your seasons and all of that. But it's a lovely, lovely guided journal. I highly recommend it. And I started it in the summer. My husband gave it to me for my birthday. So I started it in the summer and I kind of dropped it, but I'm going to pick it back up in the winter. So once December hits, I'll be back in this journal. All right, the second guided journal and the last guided journal that I have is this 4-minute journal from Clever Fox. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a doom scroller at night. I will be on my phone, scrolling on my phone until unreasonable hours. And so I'm trying to reel that in. And what I want to do is keep this journal by my bedside, this journal by my bedside, and then this journal by my bedside. These 2 will stay on my nightstand. This one may travel around the house with me, but these 2 will stay at my nightstand. And what my plan is, this will be like an evening thing, and then this will be a morning and evening thing. So here's my thought. This journal has a space for a morning reflection and an evening reflection. So if you're like me and you reach for your phone first thing in the morning, I'm going to try and train myself to reach for this first, because what it does is it prompts you to write down at the top what you're grateful for, what you're excited about, what you're proud of, positive affirmation, and then it also asks you a question for the day. And every day has different questions. So it's not like you're answering the same question all the time. So questions like, one nice thing about living in my neighborhood is, fill in the blank. What would be my best advice to my future self? If I had a superpower, it would be. Or what is the best meal I've ever had? What simple joys am I lucky to have in life? What do I enjoy most about socializing? Do I make time for activities that help me feel inspired? That kind of thing. So I want to reach for this first. And then at night, instead of doom scrolling, I want to work on this whenever it's appropriate. This is not an everyday thing. I want to work on this. This is an everyday thing. I want to read more. I was doing really well for a while. I was like reading instead of on my phone, and then it's just, you know how it is. So in the evening, you write down, so in the morning, you write down the date and time, and in the evening, you write down the time. So you'll write down the time, and then you'll write down how you felt that day. So you can record your mood, and then while in the morning you wrote down 3 things you're grateful for, in the evening you write down 3 things that made this day great. And then there's a little quote at the bottom, which I think is really lovely. So this is more about just focusing on developing this really simple practice of reaching for a journal first before I reach for my phone, you know? And then I'm more likely to then follow that up with reading my Bible, or like even just getting my first glass of water for the day. Like the habits will, what word do I want? We're habit stacking. We're triggering the next right move, right? Whereas if I reach for my my phone first, I'm not doing the action that is going to be the catalyst for the next good thing and the next good thing and the next good thing. You know what I mean? Let me know in the comments if this is something that you also struggle with, because mercy, it is something that can be really hard. At the beginning of the journal, it also has habit trackers, which I probably won't use because I have a habit tracker in my power sheets. I have habit tracker in my weekly planner. I don't need more habit trackers, but they are here if they are useful for you. You also have a little card that explains, that gives you some ideas for how this might look for you and what the habit tracker might look like filled out. So that's really cool. And in the back, there is a pocket, and they do include, I haven't even taken these out yet. I know they include stickers. So you have this sheet of stickers, this sheet of stickers, and this sheet of stickers. So 3 little sheets of stickers, really lovely in the back. And what I also really like is it does include a decent pen loop on the side. Yeah, I'm going to take off the little band because we don't need it anymore. A decent little pen loop here on the side. And it does also have an elastic. Stuff is just falling everywhere, you guys. It does have an elastic band that you can use as well. So there we go. Nightstand. So that should keep me busy at night instead of scrolling on my phone for ungodly amounts of time. Okay, second to last. Now this is not a journal. This is a planner. This was my daily planner for Simplified for 2024. And you all, I love Simplified. I love the brand. She makes beautiful products. I love her brand so much. But I have a really difficult relationship with daily planners, and I finally resigned myself to the reality that it is what it is and I can't change it. So as much as I say that I need months, weeks, and days, and I do, I don't need dailies every single day. And I have fought that for a long time. So in my personal rings, I have daily pages, but they're there for when I need them. And when I don't need them, I don't pressure myself to use them. So I've come to the conclusion that I cannot use a preset daily planner. However, I really love this cover. And there are so many pages in here that I did not use, and I don't want it to go to waste. And so I thought, what if I take my partially used planner, and I have a few of them that I need to maybe dig for in storage at a later time. But if I took my partially used, like fully bound planners, and what if I turned them into like creative journals, like scrapbooky type journals, where I can just make layouts that, and I'm not talking about like memory keeping. I'm a terrible memory keeper, so I'm not even going to try to do that for this. I want to at some point, but I'm not going to put pressure on myself for this particular project. I'm talking about just like getting my my stash out, my stickers, my magazines. I have watercolors I never use, markers, pencils, like all my creative journaling stuff, and just made spreads. And like did it while I was, you know, listening to a podcast or watching TV with my husband or whatever. I have enough space to do one almost every single day of the year. So why not just give it a shot? And the thing that is important about this project to me is that I'm giving my brain space to just explore and be creative without boundaries. The only boundary is the size of the page, basically, right? And what I may have in my stash. But as far as like, oh, I have to edit it and I have to like, it has to look perfect and it has to be Instagram ready and I have to think about how I might share it on social media. Like none of those thoughts that I often think about the things I make will have place in this notebook. Like I'm not going to do it for shares. It's just me having fun with paper and ink, and that's it. And so I'm gonna repurpose this, and there's nothing in this planner that I need to like archive or keep. If there are any like random pieces of information, I'll transfer it to something else, but I can totally go over these pages that I've already written in and not bat an eye. It's not that deep for me. So I'm gonna create something fun in here, and I may share it at some point. But guess what? I may not, and that's okay. So literally just for fun spreads, I'm gonna repurpose this for that purpose, and just have some fun and keep my hands busy while I'm, you know, maybe talking to Steven or, like I said, listening to podcasts or watching TV or whatever in the evening, listening to music. I really want the winter time to be cozy. I'm totally gonna lean into this, and I know it starts in January. Just like any regular yearly planner does. I'm just gonna start it in December, and I know I'm not gonna do this every day, so I'm gonna have plenty of space to work on it for the rest of 2025. 2025? I almost said 2026. But yeah, this is just gonna be my fun project, my really fun project, and I'll figure out a way to maybe recover the tabs or something. I don't know. We'll see. Sky's the limit. No boundaries. I'm just gonna have fun and enjoy my little cover, because I love this cover. It's so wonderful, and I'm probably just gonna like cover this up just a little bit somehow, put a little title card here of some kind. Anyway, that's my plan for this. All right, last but not least, this is another cover I really love. I showed this, I think, a couple years ago. I bought this maybe at Barnes & Noble and kept this as a journal for some time. I bought another one on Amazon, and I decided, because I bought it on Amazon because at the time I was on the hunt for a notebook to keep as my commonplace book. Now, I have tried this before in the past, and I kind of let it go. And as I was thinking about what I wanted to do as far as journaling next year, I decided that I wanted to give it another shot, but make it like super kind of luxe, right? So I knew that I really, really loved this particular journal. I love the size, the cover. I mean, she is just so gorgeous. I love the cover. And I love that it's gold edging. The paper has gold edging. It's a really nice lined page. It's cream colored paper. It feels really it feels, what's the word I'm looking for? Not luxe, not luxurious. It just feels grown up and a little decadent, right? It's very different from this, right? Like, I love this. I really love this. This is playful, it's fun, right? But this feels like library with dark shelves, you know, and a big armchair and a fireplace, right? And a dog sleeping on the area rug. Like, that's what it feels like to me, which is so not my surroundings, but that's what this feels like to me. And so I'm going to keep this as my commonplace book. And I did a ton of research earlier this year because I was trying to figure out how I wanted to commonplace. So I watched a lot of videos, I read a few articles, I took my time figuring out how I wanted to do it personally. This is going to be one of the videos that I will make at some point in the future. I'm going to show you my key. I decided on a key for my commonplace book and a form, like a structure, a method. And I've already like started filling it out. I'm not going to show you quite yet, but I have a little method here that I'm trying. And so I'm going to do a few more pages and fill out some more things, and then I'll show you how I have it all set up. But this is going to be my commonplace book. And if you don't know what a commonplace book is, it has sort of morphed and evolved into a few different types of journaling styles. But originally, if I understand correctly, based on my limited research, it is basically supposed to be a book that you keep to collect and curate information that you don't want to lose track of. That's one way to describe it. So like quotes, anecdotes, lists, story, like just bits of information that you want to not lose track of, that you want to keep in one place. It's a commonplace book. And so there are other ways to describe it, but that's kind of how I'm taking it and what my key reflects, the categories I've chosen and so forth. So anyway, I'll talk more about it in another video, but that's what this is going to be. So this is not a daily journal. I'll be collecting stuff in here and then transfer it over into this book. Stuff that I might, jot down on a planner page or on my phone, that kind of thing. It'll all at some point get transferred over into this book. And my goal is to have multiples, like to have volumes. So once this is all filled up, I'll like maybe write volume 1 somewhere on the spine in like a metallic Sharpie, and then it'll sit on my shelf, and then I'll get another one just like it, and then I'll have volume 2 and so forth. So that's the idea, and I'm really excited I've already started, so I'm really excited to continue in this project. Also, I don't remember if I already mentioned this, but if I'm not mistaken, I got my first copy of this journal from Barnes & Noble. But if it's not available at your Barnes & Noble, or if you don't have one around you, you can get it from Amazon. It is linked down below. It's by Peter Popper Press, and it is the Midnight Floral. So if you're interested in this particular journal, you should be able to get a copy of it. And like I said, it's one of my favorite journals, and I love it. And I can't wait to get it all filled up. But that is my full stack of journals. I've already started some of them. I'm not going to wait until January to start the rest. I plan to start working on my journaling practice and discipline in December, right when we get back from Thanksgiving vacation. So this is all of it. If you have any questions, let me know. I do have one more thing to share with you before I forget. This does have to do with journaling. If you've watched other journaling, like creative journaling videos, maybe even Bible journaling videos, you may have come across this. This is a utility pouch from Delphonics, and I've had my eye on them for a while, and I've just recently decided to go ahead and get one. And it's well loved in the journaling community, and I can see why. It's a really lovely pouch that has lots and lots of room for all kinds of stuff. And so I've decided that I'm going to use this to keep journaling supplies in for when I'm on the go. So if I want to take my journals, or a journal, whatever, to the coffee shop or to church or wherever, I can pop everything that hopefully I can pop everything that I want in here, and then I can have just this handy little carrying case for all my little supplies. So if you're interested, it is also linked down below. I'm glad I got it. I've been eyeing it for a long time, and I'm glad I got it. Obviously it's not packed yet. There's nothing in it. I have not packed it yet, so I don't know what its capacity is. So we'll see. And then once I do get it packed, I'll do a little video and share what I've got in here. So anyway, look forward to that at some point in the future. And that is it. That's all the things. My little Delphonics pouch, my planner stack, this is what journaling is going to look like for 2025, but not starting in January, starting in December. If you have any questions, let me know. And let me know if you want to get into journaling more, if you have a journaling practice that you really love. Share your stories with me. I would love to hear what you do and what you've been loving and what's helped you keep a practice if you do have a practice. And at some point in the new year, I'll be sharing my journey. I don't know how. I don't know exactly what I might show, because again, this is a personal thing, but I do want to share something in the future. So I'll keep you updated in some way. So anyway, thanks for hanging out. I will talk to you later. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.